Over here in the United Kingdom, apparently this is at a record all-time high. We're talking about shoplifting, not just from, local stores, but major stores on an epic scale, including the likes of Harrods, Selfridges and Harvey Nicks. Well, apparently they want to do something about it. Now, I don't know about you, but the absolute solution is staring them right in their face. But as ever, I wanted your opinion. Let me know. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for your time. It's a funny thing, this, isn't it? We keep reading these headlines about how shoplifting is at an all-time high. And I don't know about you, if you're out and about shopping, I do see it. But then again, what I do see is sort of fragrant sort of breaking of the rules. I was in a supermarket the other day. A group of guys came in, picked up a huge box of beer and simply walked out with it. The guy, the security man, and this was in Sainsbury's, he was too busy on his phone. And even if he wasn't on his phone, he couldn't do anything anyway. He was knee-high to a flea with a high-vis jacket on, totally disinterested and clearly, not exactly engaged in the job. And I'm not being detrimental. I'm just saying what I see. We're allowed to do that, right? But it was fascinating because I was asked to do a report for a channel recently about the epidemic of shoplifting. And I said, well, it's quite simple. And they said, oh, no, if you could. And I said, no. The bottom line is, and this is the reason I believe why this has happened. Yes, there's always been chances. There's always been takers. You just, it yourself. It doesn't matter. It's normally, a gang group of people who come in. What we have are a lot of people from other backgrounds, particularly dressed in their own original clothing, as it were, stuffing things up. Their jumpers, their garb, and basically, kicking off if they're asked to remove it because it's an infringement of their privacy. You see that particular story. But the other side of it as well is simply the fact that there's simply now no service. If you go to a supermarket, you are told to scan your own goods. So basically you're being trusted with that. And then you've got to produce your own credit card. Then you've got to take the receipt, scan that on the way out because now you need to get out because I put some gates in. Now, when I was younger, and I'm sure it was the same for you, there was a person at the till, there was a gate, and there was a very big burly security man. And, if all that failed, the police would come and arrest you. Now over here we have laws in the United Kingdom that if it's a certain level of shoplifting, they won't come out. How inconvenient. So consequently, this has opened the floodgates. If people know they're not going to get stopped for walking out with a sandwich or a bottle of wine, why should they? Of course, it's to the rest of us, the honest people who literally pay the prices. And that's part and parcel why the prices have gone up. But what I wanted to highlight to you is, do you believe, and this is where I find this fascinating because the retail sector having a major, can you imagine, conference about this to tackle the epidemic. It's quite simple. Put people back on tills also that take cash, make people queue to get served, and if possible, help assist bag, maybe provide a chair on the corner if somebody feels a little bit ill or unsteady on their feet. And don't expect the public to do everything for you because clearly they'll seize an opportunity. And it's all very well having all this high tech and saying, scan your own goods. Well, they might be scanning them, but basically they're scamming them outside of the store. And that truly is the problem. You don't need a conference for that, do you? Anybody else agree? As ever, truly, I'd love to know your thoughts on this because it's absolutely ridiculous what is being discussed and what you see literally across all retail outlets. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.